Hey, Richard, when you throw a football, do you make a poop face?
No.
Arch Manning does.
Apparently.
Welcome to the B Team. Week 3, we're still around. Show number 11, Ryan Brauninger, Richard Zane, taking you home on this Tuesday afternoon after an eventful weekend across the college football landscape, one in which the head coach of the Texas Longhorns openly asked the media, or openly told the media that he does not know what his quarterback's face looks like when he defecates. And the more that I listened to it, I thought about having Cade Bickham, who's working very diligently still. I'm not going to ask you to speak too much, Cade, but I thought about having you cut that audio of Steve Sarkisian when he talked about poop face Arch. And then I started listening to it over and over again, and it got more and more uncomfortable, and it kind of gave me the heebie-jeebies, and it will go down as one of the quotes of the year in college football, no doubt.
It's one of the dumber things I've ever heard said by a head coach. That's not the comparison you think you're making, like at all. Like not even close. Like I don't take a picture of the faces you guys make in the bathroom. Well, okay, are you saying that that's what your quarterback's doing when he's his shoulders coming back and then going forward to fire a pigskin? What?
He's trying.
What are we
like he's
doing,
trying to fire a brown hot
So-
dog.
Something like that.
Anyway, what a bizarre quote from Steve Sarkisian. Texas kind of went through the paces and got a pull-away win from San Jose State. But obviously the talking point coming out of Austin was Arch Manning's shoulder. And I don't have any real information regarding Arch Manning's shoulder. I will preface what I'm about to say with that. The things that I have been told have come from high school football contacts in the state of Texas and across the Sabine River. Folks that kind of have their ear to the ground on this kind of stuff. I was told twice that he has got some kind of shoulder injury that is similar to what Connor Wigman had last year. I do not believe that. I honestly, I could be wrong, and I don't follow a lot of the Texas stuff, the writers. I don't follow what's going on with their team other than their win and loss on Saturdays. I've got too many irons and too many other fires to keep tabs on that. But it was interesting that I did get told involuntarily, like I wasn't going to seek this information. One text said, hey, I had a high school coach come up to me on Sunday and say, Arch has got the same deal that Connor was dealing with last year. We'll see. I don't believe that's true.
Be pretty
Rumor
significant
spreads.
if it were. I bet you this is one of those things where Texas is saying he's healthy, he's fine, there's nothing to be concerned about, and other people are saying that he's dealing with this injury that we saw Connor Wigman go through last year, which was very debilitating for former Texas A&M quarterback, now the signal caller for the University of Houston Cougars. So at one end you've got what some people are saying. At the other end, you've got what's coming out of Austin. I bet you the truth is somewhere in the middle.
I would even say the truth is probably leaning more toward the folks in Austin. This is just, I think, bad news spreads faster than good news, and it also gets misconstrued a lot quicker. I think he may have something going on. I don't believe it's that significant. It was interesting, though, to me to see the reactions on social media to I think it was Brooks Austin that did that breakdown. He breaks down quarterback play and does a pretty good job. Breaks down film every week, and it was either him or the guy that went through the deep dive on Arch Manning after the Ohio State game, the former NFL backup. I forget his name. It was one of those two that did the video on Twitter that got so much run about zooming in on his face on a kind of a slant throw that he spiked into the ground, and it did look. I mean,
Uncle Rico.
It did look, his facial expressions did look like he was hurting, like no question. But that could be an unconscious move an unconscious thing that his body does every time he throws. I haven't studied it enough.
That's the thing. Like you played baseball for a very long time in your life. What were some of the faces, some of the action shots they had of you when you were taking a swing or throwing the ball? Like people make weird faces when they're exerting energy like that.
This is one thing I've learned a lot going through my coaching career and being around so many different types of athletes, especially on the baseball side. Everybody's body moves differently. To try to be cookie cutter with anything that you do is really short-sighted and naive as a coach. And I've learned that, some people are more tightly wound. Some people are looser. Some people use their legs more. Some people use the torque more of, kind of a whip action and their hip moving one way and their shoulder moving another. And sometimes that comes out in their face. You look at like Alex Rodriguez and Manny Ramirez when they were hitting, their face was totally relaxed. Alex Rodriguez used to blow bubbles while he was swinging a bat. There are other guys, Craig Biggio is one of them, Alex Bregman another one, where it's like they're choking the life out of the bat. Yeah. But it's just how their body is wired and how their mind moves and things like that. There's no right or wrong way. Everybody's different. And so Arch Manning could be a guy that whenever he throws, his face just gets really, really tense. I will say, without knowing anything about the situation at all, without knowing Arch at all, without ever covering him in high school, 1 ounce, I never saw him at a camp, never saw him in a game. So I have no background with Arch Manning as a prospect, kid, player, whatever. I can just say to my naked eye, that looks like it's probably hurting him, but I don't know that's for sure the truth. Now, the way the ball's coming out of his hand, at times it does look like he's hurting. You're probably too young to remember the Gerard Johnson, Ryan Tannehill year.
No, I'm not too young to remember that.
But Gerard was clearly...
Because Gerard came into that year. I remember Dave Campbell's Texas Football had Gerard Johnson on their preseason cover, and we're talking about Heisman possibilities for number 1. I remember that, but yeah, by the end of the year, he couldn't play anymore.
Yeah, there was a picture going around of Harry Dunn from one of the all-time great movies, Dumb and Dumber, the bathroom scene where he drinks the X-Lax, or actually Lloyd spikes his drink with the X-Lax and he gets to Mary Swanson's house and has the bathroom episode. It's Arch Manning's head on Harry Dunn's body. Very good. College football continues to be, the memes have been sensational so far this year.
It is the perfect sport for Dumb and Dumber references.
Yes, and I don't follow the NFL close enough. The Texans pissed me off on Sunday. There's no sin in losing at the Rams, and DFW Matthew Stafford still got it a little bit. Puka Nacua is a baller. No sin in losing to the Rams, who probably win the NFC West. Who am I? Oh, the Niners. I guess it would be the Rams and Niners out there. But there's no sin in losing on the road. I didn't like the way they played. And so, NFL's a long season. But what I was saying is, it seems to me like the NFL, there's not as much emotion closely tied to results as there is in college football, and especially college football fandom. And so as a result of that, the college football memes preying on people's emotions and the reactions that they get, I think, enhance the overall social media experience for college football. I'm not saying that the social media experience for college football is good, but what I'm saying is it's gotten better because of the memes.
Oh, it's
the one good part.
I think it's kind of coincided with the rise of College Game Day, right? And the signs that are behind the sets. And
some of them got really creative.
Some of them are getting really creative and somewhat crude, although...
It's funny. I feel like ESPN I think it's funny that you bring that up, because I think ESPN has been a little bit more lax with that kind of stuff since they've hired McAfee, because that's kind of his whole bit, right? Like,
that's true.
A lot of his shtick. And so they're walking up to the line. I haven't seen anything that's been overtly crossing it, but they're definitely allowing a little bit more. And I think that's fun. I think it's fun. College Game Day, the tribute to Lee Corso was great. But, somebody had to take that mantle from him. And Lee Corso was such an icon who he and Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit were, they were my childhood of College Game Day and waking up every Saturday morning and getting to watch that. But as Coach Corso aged, and Chris Fowler stepped away from doing College Game Day and started doing play-by-play, and you insert Reese Davis and Desmond Howard, there still needed to be somebody, some character to take that show to the next level. And I've been unapologetically a McAfee fan. I think he does a good job, and I think he's a really good segue from Coach Corso into that chair. We'll see how long he stays. I also think Nick Saban's been good on that show.
I think Saban's a really, really good addition. I think the McAfee thing, I think he's good at times. Other times it's like, what are you doing, dude? He's always entertaining, right? Like he's entertaining, polarizing. He's always polarizing, one way or the other. He's got his moments. He's got his good moments. He does some stuff that I really like. I'm interested to see if this is just like a very short phase for ESPN, because I think maybe everything the quote-unquote worldwide leader is doing right now has the potential to be a phase as they are seeing their place in the market shift on almost a daily basis.
Well, there's also their biggest competitor has now essentially hired Barstool to be a part of their Saturday morning show. And is that a reaction? Is Fox reacting to McAfee on ESPN and hiring the kind of the next best thing out there to bring that element or that section of college fandom to their program? We'll see. Like, I didn't get to see a lot of the Big Noon Kickoff on Fox, and so something I will do this week is to watch that one over College Game Day to see which one's more entertaining.
I'm always a game day guy.
I am too.
I'm just I cannot stand Urban Meyer. Nothing about him makes me want to tune into their show and watch Urban Meyer. I can't do it. I think he's a stick in the mud. I think he is. I just think he's. I think he's bad TV. I think he's bad TV. I don't like him. The rest of the crew, it's just all right. You know, somebody who's pretty solid on that show is doesn't get a ton of love is Mark Ingram. I think Mark Ingram's growing on me.
I couldn't even tell you that Urban Meyer was bad or good.
Does Leinart do that show?
I feel like he's a Fox guy. I don't know if he's on that show.
Brady
Quinn.
But he's usually in the broadcast booth, right? He does actual games, or is he on the show?
When you start saying all those names, Rob Stone.
Oh, Rob Stone's pretty solid.
He's a soccer guy.
He does good on when Fox does baseball too.
I would say,
shows.
Yeah, Rob Stone's good. He's a really good host. I would say that all those names that you just mentioned that are on the desk at Fox are kind of stuffy. I mean, I don't know Mark Ingram. He may be entertaining, but that may be the reason why they went and got Portnoy.
Maybe.
And that, in essence, is their McAfee. So I'm going to give them a shot and see how much I enjoy it. But I do like Pat McAfee, and I think if ESPN will continue to kind of let him take more and more of the reins, you're going to start seeing his crew start show up on game day more. Where
is Big Noon this week?
Oh, good question.
Because I know game days go into that
State?
Tennessee Georgia game, and something about that Tennessee Georgia game has my interest piqued a little bit more than anything going on in the Big Ten.
Let's see.
So, and I know Big Noon's not always going to Big Ten schools. They went to Ames last week for the Cy-Hawk Trophy.
Oh yeah, they're in Northwestern.
Oh, at their little erector set of a stadium on Lake Michigan.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
They're playing Oregon. God, we got to get into that. Okay, so what do we call this show on Tuesdays?
Top 5 Tuesdays.
Top 5 Tuesdays. We have 3 top 5s that I've sent you and Cade once he's done working. We will allow him to join the show, but we have 3 top 5s.
Yeah, Cade, can you keep working? Can you work?
Actually, Cade's right here.
Work. Come on, Cade.
He's working. He's moving cameras.
Walk in front of this camera so that the people know you're still alive.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't have to say, yep,
See?
That's Cade's arm. What if it's like a Weekend at Bernie's arm and we're just like
when you tune into this show, you don't expect. That's the B team for a reason. You know,
it's the
lower
Weekend
your
at
standards
Bernie's
a little bit. So our top 5s this week: top 5 college football biggest winner, top 5 college football biggest loser, and then top 5 sports smells. But before we get into any of that, we do do a little baseball. And I'm so pumped for this show if it sticks around for the spring. Obviously, I have some big things happening coming this spring.
Yes, you do.
Potentially. So we will see how all that works out. But I'm super pumped for this show during baseball season because me and you, we like to talk baseball. And this show in the springtime will give us a lot of runway to talk baseball. But today, on September 9th, we're going to talk baseball because the SEC just released the conference baseball schedule. And I won't go through every weekend, but we do need to go through who showed up on the Aggies schedule. This is every weekend starting on March 13th. The Aggies traveled to Oklahoma, traveled to Norman. And here's something that I don't have time to do right here on the show that I would like to do at some point. Maybe this will be my project tomorrow morning in the office, is go back and look at when's the last time Texas A&M played all these teams in these places, and then when's the last time Texas A&M did the inverse. So the last time Texas A&M played at OU in baseball had to have been probably 2010 or 2011.
2011. When was the first year? No, it would. So their last year in the Big 12 would have been 2020. It would have been 2012.
2012.
And they played Oklahoma here in 2012. That was the first year of Bluebell Park, and my mom and I made a day trip to College Station to see the Sunday game. Rafael Pineda for the Aggies. They were wearing their digital
This is good
camos.
recall.
Yeah. The reason I remember it is a future big leaguer on the mound for Sonny Galloway's Oklahoma Sooners.
Wow.
Jonathan. He was going by Jonathan then. Jonathan Gray.
Wow.
John Gray.
John Gray. Sonny Gray went to Vanderbilt.
Yeah. Vanderbilt or Clemson?
I think Sonny Gray went.
Rocky's legend, John Gray.
Yeah, exactly. Rocky's legend, Texas, and quote unquote Texas Rangers legend, John Gray.
And
the Aggies won that game, and it was a Saturday, and you got to play catch on the field after the game. So I got to go play catch.
Talked to Coach Early about bringing that back.
That'd be cool. It'd be fun.
You'd go down there and have a catch after the game. You and Billy could play catch.
No.
You'd have to walk the ball back to him.
Yeah, you can't see.
You can't see. All right, at Oklahoma, March 13th through the 15th. The Georgia Bulldogs make a return to Bluebell Park.
Yeah, last time they were here was 2024, and one of the most incredible games I think I've ever seen.
That weekend was a huge turning point weekend. It was a memorable weekend for a lot of different reasons for Texas A&M baseball. The massive comeback, the pine tar situation in the bullpen, or the doctoring of the base,
some sticky substances,
and then obviously that was the weekend that the news started to leak, at least behind the scenes, that the head coach then was leaving to take the job in Austin. So that is the second weekend, Georgia at home.
I think that was later that week was when we got the phone call in the car and was like, oh, if this happens, I might just quit my job. And I'm still here.
The next weekend, the Aggies travel to Columbia, Missouri. I think the last time they went to Como was the last year of Rob Childress.
Really?
Ryan Targotch. Remember that was your infamous. You asked Coach Childress a question, and
he wasn't too happy. Again, that was a hand up moment for me.
That's what this
Billy
show's
will
about.
tell you all the time, and ask Lucci's. There's some times that I'll kind of zone in and out, and John Wilson, who was with KBTX at the time, asked a question and kind of zoned out. And I immediately had the next question. We were on Zoom, and I asked a very similar question. I got
It's about Ryan Targotch.
Was it?
Remember, because he homered twice.
I don't even remember what I asked. All I remember is the answer was, well, I just got finished answering that to John. And I said, sorry, Coach, that's my bad.
Hand up.
It
was because it was Ryan Targotch had hit 2 home runs in a game and then was removed for defensive purposes, and I think that spot came up 2 or 3 more times.
See,
because
this
of the way
is
the
good
game
recall. I don't remember that.
All right, so at Mizzou, third weekend. Vanderbilt comes through College Station. Last year, the Aggies went to Nashville, got swept. The year before, Vanderbilt came to College Station. They got swept.
That was one of the most insane weekends of the year.
Well,
they run-ruled them twice.
Yes.
And then it still blew their doors off on Sunday, but it wasn't a run rule.
That was the weekend where I went, this team can win it all.
Uh-huh.
They blew
really
through Vanderbilt. And regardless of the state of college athletics and what is and isn't allowed compared to what used to be allowed and not allowed, when Vanderbilt really made their rise to power, that roster is always going to be loaded, and Tim Corbin can really coach.
Yes, he can.
And look, that was so. As what's funny is that in 2024, that was the best offensive weekend of the year, a year that had a lot of good offensive weekends, and then in 2025, a year that had a lot of bad offensive weekends. That one might have been the worst, and that's a pretty.
Yes,
significant statement considering the Missouri series when you got swept.
You were there. The strikeout numbers were insane from that 3-game set.
It was 40 something in 3 games.
It was just brutal.
So Vandy comes to town. That's April, the first weekend of April 2nd through the 4th. April 10th through the 12th, Texas. Longhorns come to Aggieland. That one should be
I expect at least 1, probably 2, and maybe 3 nationally televised games that weekend.
And I expect somebody, I don't know who, somebody will be removed from the ballpark.
Hope it won't be me. I always mind my P's and Q's. Of the two of us, you're the one that's more likely to be removed.
No. I'm not talking about anybody on the show.
No, I know. I know you weren't. I know you weren't. Definitely a fan is going to be removed. A fan, at least one. I'll set the over under at 20.
Dermdock, are you listening?
But of the two of us, I think you'd be the more likely of us to be removed from that weekend.
I've avoided conversations, so
that would make two of us, right?
I think that's the best way to move on from that. And moving on from that Texas weekend.
It's hard to move on because that is the storyline. Like, and we're gonna have to talk about that a ton when they come here. The week leading up to it's not going to be an enjoyable week.
Well, it's September 9th, so we got a lot of time to prep.
Today's September 9th. Yes. That's April the 12th.
April 10th through the 12th, Texas at Bluebell Park. Then the Aggies go on the road to Baton Rouge. So back-to-back weekend, 6 games straight against your two biggest rivals. Follow that up with a trip to Gainesville. So, no matter what order you get these games in, they're not going to be easy in this league. So at LSU, then at Florida. Auburn comes to town. Obviously, the last time you went to LSU in Florida, 2024. The last time Auburn came to College Station, 2024. At Ole Miss, I think the last time the Aggies were there was 2024 as well.
Yeah, it was the same week. It was the same weekend as my sister's college graduation. She graduated from TWU that week. It was a bad weekend for the Aggies. But you'll remember that Shane Sadeo was really, really good in the finale.
Yes.
Really, really good.
That was the worst that team played. Was the weekend before against LSU, and then they followed that up with a bad weekend at Ole Miss.
That weekend before, I traveled to that game. I went to that game at LSU, or that weekend, and that was brutal for a whole lot of different reasons.
And
my friends in the press box, or friends, that was outrageous experience.
May 14th through the 16th, the final series of the season. Mississippi State comes to Bluebell Park. The Aggies did not go to Starkville last year in 2024.
They played them in 25.
In the tournament. They played them in
20. Yeah, and they played them in 23 in Starkville. Did the Bulldogs came here in 24?
Yes. And then didn't play them last year in the regular season, and then played them in the tournament last year.
Okay.
So the last time that A&M and Mississippi State met in SEC Conference Series was at Bluebell Park.
Yeah, so I definitely do remember.
That was a fun series. It was kind of wet. On Friday, Grahovic had a big grand slam, and then the finale was the rubber game, and Durangelo St. pitched for Mississippi State, and I remember Caden Sorrell hitting a big pull-side home run.
Is he still doing the both pitching? Hands thing?
I'd have to check. I would think so. Like, why wouldn't he?
So cool.
I just remember
in the Mariners system, right?
Yeah, he's pitching. He's pitched for the Mariners. I'm pretty sure.
He has.
He got called up.
True.
No, I don't think he's got called up. He's just in their org.
Yeah. So
he did in spring training. He was on the spring training roster, I think.
I remember whenever he was at A&M. A lot of folks that I was talking to were saying that it was so much better right-handed that they thought that they would dump the left hand whenever he got into pro ball. But I also remember a lot of folks saying that Braden Montgomery wasn't going to hit right-handed when he got into pro ball, and that's
it's not true.
Yeah, he's figured all that out.
Braden Montgomery, I love on the TexAgs board every time Colson Montgomery for the Chicago White Sox does something cool, everyone's like, "Oh, Montgomery, our guy." No one realizes.
Montgomery.
A lot of people realize that it's two different people, but enough don't realize it is that. We had a situation like that earlier this week on the boards where somebody thought somebody on the sidelines
it was Michelle
was Mike Elko's wife.
And the guy blamed it. He's like, "Look, I'm 70-something years old, and."
I get it, man. I wear contacts every single day. Eyesight kind of goes.
It was funny. It was just funny because he was like, I did my research on who this was, and it's his wife, and she does such a great job. Turns out, shout out Jordan Zapata, who works over at football. That's who was in the photo. Jordan is awesome.
The comment was, after a little research, and then somebody quoted it and said, just how little did you do?
It was good. That was a good thread. That was a good thread.
Oh, it was good for a Monday.
So what do you think about the schedule? So the teams that A&M misses out on are Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky, Alabama, and South Carolina.
I mean, I think, first off, it's the Southeastern Conference. And it's the Southeastern Conference in baseball. And baseball is tougher league than football. And I'm sure later this week they'll announce the softball schedule, and it's an even tougher league in softball than it is baseball. But it doesn't matter who you're going to get, right? You're going to have 10 weekends. You're going to play some teams that could win the national title.
You're probably going to play 5 or 6 teams.
I was going to say you're going to win 7 teams that are capable of winning the national title in any given year. And then the other three, not going to exactly be, walks in the park. Obviously, Texas A&M played Missouri last year, and we saw how that goes. Like, you're going to have to play your best brand of baseball week in and week out in this conference. I would have liked to have seen Tennessee just because I like seeing good ball. I love Tony Vitello's teams, and I would have liked to have seen Arkansas on the schedule. Now I'm not going to say, oh, let's take off Mizzou and put Arkansas in there, stuff like that. It's just I like those teams. I think they're always great litmus tests of where you stand and stuff like that.
I kind of wanted to see Kentucky just for a little bit of round two.
You would have had to, because Kentucky came here last year and we know how that finale ended with the stall tactics and all of that. You would have had to have gone to Kentucky Proud Park. And that ain't good for anybody because, one, they play on a rug, and two, nobody ever goes to the game, so you're just going to have to create your own energy. Like, that's a real easy place to kind of sleepwalk through.
I would love to see that post-game handshake again.
Yeah.
When all that stuff was going on in the finale at Bluebell this past spring, I left my perch up there at the press box.
I don't think I've ever been that mad at a press box. Like, it was disgusting. That was the most faking arguments, sending out, like, arguing every single ball and strike, sending out a pitching coach for mound visits, obviously making the umpire break up the mound visit, changing the wristbands, changing the pitchers. Like, it was brutal.
Harry High School. So I left my perch at the top of Bluebell Park to go down there and get as close as I could because I thought I could see Coach Early in the dugout, and I was like, he's going to lose his mind, and I need to be close to see this. So I was hoping that Kentucky would be on the schedule this year, just as a little bit of payback. And look, it's September 9th. There's no way for anybody to know how good or bad this baseball team's going to be. I think it's fair to say the pitching's going to be a question mark.
I would have liked Kentucky to be on the schedule for a different reason. I think 2024 was their best team ever, and we know what A&M did to them in the postseason. I would have liked Kentucky on the schedule because I think they're not going to be very good this year.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate that. I mean, I would think in terms of like overall talent, like rosters in the SEC, I think I'd rank them toward the bottom. Their shortstop's a total stud.
Yeah.
Freshman kid he was really good.
We saw Missouri.
Tyler Bell, right? Is that his name? Tyler Bell?
So Missouri's shortstop. Missouri's the worst team. They're 16 out of 16. They've got a damn good shortstop too.
Not anymore.
Oh, where'd he go?
He got drafted.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Jackson Lovich.
Sorry.
But for A&M, we were talking about this a little bit earlier in the office
this week.
Pitching's going to be a big question mark.
Yep.
I think that's fair to say. I say who's going to be the number 3 starter
behind Sadeo and Weston Moss?
I think it's fair to say going into the fall, Sadeo Moss is your 1-2.
Yes, I think so.
The issue that Carson Bailey had, unable to attend A&M, that number 3 spot, which was seemingly going to go to him, high-profile left-hander, it's wide open. And who goes and wins it?
Man, it would have. This just now the situation they're in makes the loss of Caden Wilson going early in the draft hurt even more. I think he could have been that guy.
So there's some guys
Brauny, I have a question for you. I have a question for you about Weston Moss. So my question is, do you think that because of his role in the bullpen last year and how like vital he was to the A&M bullpen success, do you think that it would be beneficial to leave him in the bullpen because you know that he's going to be a dog out of the bullpen, or because he was one of your more consistent guys, you have to put him in the starting rotation just because you know that you can get a good 5 innings out of him?
I think this is the natural progression of most college pitchers, right? As a freshman, they get an inning here and there. They turn themselves into a 1 inning kind of guy where they can, you can rely on them. Then you start stretching them out their sophomore year, and then they become a starter their 3rd season. I mean, Asa Lacy is a guy that was a bullpen guy his entire freshman year, and then start in the rotation as a sophomore, and then obviously would have been your Friday night starter the entirety of 2020 had the pandemic not canceled the season. So this seems like the natural progression to me for Weston Moss. Saw him a little bit as a freshman, became a viable, valuable weapon out of the bullpen last year, and now it's time for the next step.
I agree. And I also think I'm a big believer in outs or outs. You got to get 27 of them. And I think in Moss, he gives you the best ability, at least of what we're looking at on paper right now. There's so much that can change.
He could get you 15.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you bring him in on a Friday night in a reliever role and he gets you 15 there or gets you 12 there, I mean, is he going to be able to get you 3 more the rest of you just don't know. You
Good
start
point.
and you know you're going to get something out of him. So the Sunday, the number 3 starter, I think is very interesting. You know, Clayton Freshcorn came in here and sat down on this desk over here and said he wants to compete as a starter. And I'm going to tell you this, if he throws the ball
electric, if it's in the strike zone.
if he throws the ball like he did against Georgia in the last series of the season, against LSU in the finale of the SEC tournament, why not? So, but you're going to have somebody step forward, and whether it's him or Gavin Lyons or Caden McCoy or Aiden Sims, they're really high on this freshman they got out of high school, David Ramirez. Got a couple junior college arms, brought in Ethan Darden.
No shortage of options.
They've got a bunch of options. They got a bunch of arms, and also they've got 2 two-way players that are big-time arms in Luke Billings and Nico Partita, who's 99 miles an hour.
Nico Partita, you can catch his Instagram reel TikTok on TexAgs and TexAgs United Now, where he's trying some food in our office.
Nico was great. He was
Good
very, very sure of himself for a freshman. I like that.
Yeah,
Luke,
talking to him, he didn't seem like a kid.
Is that Luke Billings' kid? Is he a freshman as well?
Yes, he catches, plays outfield, pitches.
He does it all.
He does it all.
So could A&M do one of the things in one of their fall scrimmages where Luke Billings plays all 9 positions and
They
9 innings?
absolutely should do that.
I don't think he's ever played like third, short, but it'd be fun.
It'd be fun.
The
No,
difference
out
is,
for
I
an
know
inning.
Nick Savage's Brazos Valley Bombers did that for a game this summer.
I'm interested in these fall scrimmages because you got, I mean, Sam, okay,
And
but
TCU.
that's big. That's a different level of competition that they've been playing in the falls. And we talked about the pitching real quick. I feel pretty good about the offense. They're going to have 3 projected first-rounders in the starting 9. Gavin Grahovic, Caden Sorrell, and Chris Akopian. From there, you just start playing with names that are returning with
Well, Bear Harrison.
Bear Harrison, Terrence Keel II, Jake Dewar, they really like out of the portal as a hitter.
Ben Royal provided a lot more stock in the bat than people projected. They didn't. I don't
He
think
had
they
10 homers.
I don't think they expected him to play at all.
How many games did he start last year? 30,
I'm
32,
gonna say,
something like that?
Yeah, probably closer to 30, 35.
You pulling it up, Cade?
Ben Royal was really good. First base, Blake Binderup's back, right?
He started 36 of the 44 games he appeared in.
That's good. So he hit 10 homers in 36 starts.
Good.
If another good year out of him, he pushing 15 homers and really sure-handed with the glove. Like A&M's defense took a giant step forward when he was kind of had to be inserted into the lineup with all the injuries. But
What's the biggest place the biggest thing they need to replace?
the
Obviously,
all-time home run leader.
Obviously, you're losing him, but you're kind of getting that back. You're kind of getting that back because Gavin Grahovic didn't play at all last year. He played 2
That's true.
weekends. And Caden Sorrell played half the year, just over half the year.
And you're bringing in a guy that is as highly regarded as a bat out of the portal as Braden Montgomery was.
Considered the best bat in the portal this cycle.
So what I'm most interested in, what happens with Wesley Jordan? Okay, kid out of Baylor. There's a DH role. Somebody's gonna hit, right? But he played outfield at Baylor. I think he could play first base. He's played first base in the past out of JUCO. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with him defensively. These freshmen that they brought in, I'm just going to tell you, it's the best as
Dudes.
They're like real players, and they are. I guess the class with Grahovic and Sorrell, that's an incredible return, right? I mean, those are 2 projected first rounders. But the guys that like Jace came in with, there's not many of them around still, especially position players. So this group of position players that are here as freshmen, Nico Partita, Boston Kellner, Luke Billings, Jorian Wilson, these are all high upside guys, and a couple of them can play right now. Nico, Boston Kellner for sure.
How about the Aggies, putting up a quality freshman in the lineup each of the last 3 seasons? Jace, then Sorrell and Grahovac, and then TK this last year.
Yeah, it's not unheard of for, you don't want to have a bunch of freshmen contributing, but you can certainly have 1 or 2. And I'm just going to tell you, if you're an Aggie baseball fan, when you go out to Bluebell Park, if you're going to these scrimmages, when you see Jorian Wilson, you are going to go, holy crap. That kid is enormous. And he's raw.
Send me a photo of him. He looks impressive.
He's very raw, but when he gets it, it comes off the bat like Jace Lavalette. Like it's 110, 112 miles an hour. It's big stuff. Again,
exciting.
long way to go, but he's got a lot of raw tools. So the pitching, I think, is obviously the bigger question mark. And I'll tell you, to kind of close our baseball conversation with this, who plays where in the infield? Is Chris Hacopian your shortstop? Cliff Pennington's going to have to work some magic.
When I asked you that question about the biggest thing you have to replace, I was going to shortstop. Like, Caden Kent, very, very reliable defensively last year. The year before Caden Kent, Ali Camarillo, amazing defensively.
Dude.
The year before him,
Hunter Haas,
extremely underrated and underappreciated defensively. Like,
and he could rake.
Defense at short, Aggies have gotten to a point where you're kind of spoiled.
Yeah, and Cliff Pennington on staff is going to help Chris Hacopian regardless of where he plays. Can he be an everyday shortstop? He was in the Big Ten. We'll see if it happens here. But if it doesn't, where does he go? Where does Grahovic go? Is Ben Royo? I think he can play shortstop. Why can't he play shortstop? But your highest upside guy there might be Nico Partita. So, Nico is not your traditionally built shortstop, but if Caden Kent can play there and be as good as he was defensively, I don't see why there's nothing that Caden Kent that can do that Nico Partita can't. Now, it's a freshman. You put a true freshman at shortstop, but who were you just talking about? Tyler Bell at Kentucky was fantastic as a freshman at shortstop. Monster Milam played a bunch of shortstop as a freshman.
Monster Milam, still one of the better nicknames.
Again,
so good.
I'm excited about the offense, about the prospects of the offense. I'm really excited about those freshmen. I actually pulled the curtain back here a little bit. I was texting with Gavin Grahovic for some other stuff earlier today. Asked him how his shoulder felt. Said 100% feels back to normal. Hadn't had any issues. So
that's great news.
Great news.
He's such a good kid too.
Really good kid.
Really, really big fan of his.
All right, moving on. Let's start with some. Oh, I did have one more piece of baseball stuff on the rundown here, Kate. I don't know if you saw this. The other night, the Los Angeles Dodgers, Yoshinobu Yamamoto was throwing a no-hitter through 8 2/3. The Dodgers were leading the Baltimore Orioles 4-0. Richard, take it from there.
No, so they were leading 3-0. 4-0 would have been enough. This 2025 Dodger team is. I'm going to go all the way back because this past offseason when they signed these bullpen arms and other stuff and everyone's like, why do we even play the games? The Dodgers have just stockpiled. We just cancel the season. The Dodgers are going to win the World Series. All of you lemmings, you non-baseball fans, this is why you play the games, because even one of the greatest rosters ever constructed can still crap the bed night in and night out. This team stinks. They are horrible. I think they're led by a milquetoast manager and a milquetoast front office, and night in and night out, they consistently try to find new ways to lose baseball games. Brauny brought up Saturday night, and it was historic. This loss was historic. They became the first team in Major League Baseball history to lose a baseball game after their starting pitcher had given them 8 2/3 innings of no-hit baseball. Yoshinobu Yamamoto's working on a masterpiece. He is worth every penny that they paid to get him in the international signing pool. He's been fantastic. He missed some time last year. He was huge in the World Series. He's been really, really good this year. If the Dodgers make the postseason, they probably will. Whether or not they win the division, still up in the air. He's my game one starting pitcher. And I know they've got Blake Snell. I know they've got Tyler Glass now. Clayton Kershaw in year 2000 looks amazing. Like, they've got options, but Yoshi is my guy. And he's as good as he's ever been on Saturday night. And you're just, at that point, like the pitch count's 106, something like that. Like, you're just trying to will your way across the finish line, especially in today's analytics where they don't let him throw 120 pitches. And he gets into a 2-strike count on Jackson Holliday, who's a really good player, and he just deposits a ball into the right field seats. It's like, okay, that losing the no-hitter kind of sucks, but we're up 3-1. Dodgers do the right thing and go to the bullpen. And Blake Trinan has no idea where the strike zone is. It's ridiculous.
Well, if you throw the
It's
ball like him and it
ridiculous.
moves as much as it does,
they're frisbees, and the guys are laying off them. But the thing is, they're easy to lay off of because the straight stuff's nowhere close. Like to a left-handed batter, it would have hit a right-handed hitter in the head, kind of close. Like
that makes it a lot easier.
It's nowhere close. Like just don't swing. He walked a guy, he gave up a double, walked a guy, hit a guy, gave up a single or something like that. It's a 3-2 game. Then they go to Tanner Scott, who is a bum. Every time he comes into a game, I want to pull my hair out. Tanner Scott has got to be one of the worst free agent signings in the history of that organization. Tanner Scott is a loser. He should not pitch in the postseason. He should not be on the postseason roster. The Dodgers activated Alex Vesia earlier this afternoon, and they optioned Ben Kasperius. He's a right-handed reliever. You should have optioned Tanner Scott. DFA that guy. Get him off my ball club. Get him and Michael Conforto as far away from my team as possible. And, of course, 2 pitches in. And timeout. Earlier in the week, Tanner Scott was like, I think part of my struggles are because I'm throwing too many strikes. Like I'm becoming too predictable, which can be a thing, right? Baseball, it can be a thing. The pitch that he threw that ended up being the last pitch of the game, the walk-off 2-run single to lose this game when you had a no-hitter after 8 2/3, is middle. You could not have put it on a tee and had it more perfect for the guy. Just line drive up the middle, 2 runs, Dodgers lose. My dad and I were on the phone for an hour after the game.
Did you get it all out?
Obviously not, because here I am just complaining on Tuesday.
Right now.
Well, no, because they had a combined no-hitter yesterday through 8 innings. Tanner Scott comes in, and his second pitch of the game is a double. That dude stinks. Get him off my club. I hate him. This team is so bad. I think the Padres are going to win that division. They have no reason not to win the division. The Dodgers are trying to give. I would love to. The problem is this offseason. So I think Dave Roberts was managing for his job last October. He wins the World Series. Awesome. He's got 2 World Series championship rings.
That's what I'm saying.
As a manager,
run him out?
He's got as many World Championship rings as Tommy Lasorda. I think Dave Roberts is not a great manager. But the Dodgers this offseason signed him to the most expensive annual contract for a major league manager in the history of the game.
The balance sheet for the Los Angeles Dodgers looks good.
They don't care. They've got so much money. They're just going to throw money at the problem until it goes away. But
I'm glad that hopefully that was cathartic for you.
They won last night. That was good. They need to win tonight. They're playing the 104-loss Colorado Rockies, but last time they played the 100.
Coming from your
last time they played the 104-loss Colorado Rockies, they lost a series.
Well, your secondary team.
That's true. They are my secondary team. They are garbage though, and it's hilarious. They fill up that stadium. They do. They still do, and nothing is going to change in that organization unless people stop going to the games.
It's a beautiful ballpark.
But people won't stop going to the games because the ballpark is amazing.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It's got a bunch of cool restaurants and bars around it. Whenever A&M played Colorado in Denver a couple of years ago, 21, I believe. Was it 21? 22. 21.
Yeah, no, it would have been 2021 because they should have had a home and home in the SEC in 2020.
That's right. When A&M played up there in Denver, went and walked around Coors Field. It was the first time I'd seen it. Beautiful.
You ever been to a game there?
A lot of homeless, surprisingly. I guess that's any big city in America now.
It's downtown
Don't
Denver.
tell Olin Buchanan.
Yeah. But you know what? The homeless in Denver were... I don't interact with a lot of homeless folks, but the homeless in Denver were very aggressive. Very aggressive. And
from what I understand, the guy who drove you guys around was a problem too.
Yeah, he was a friend of somebody's. Yeah. Well, no, actually, he didn't drive us around.
They just kind of walked around with you guys.
My wife, then girlfriend, was like, "This doesn't feel right. We do not need to get in a car with this guy." And she was right. So we got an Uber and got away. But no, between Denver and San Francisco, I've seen a lot of folks that I've seen a lot of body parts for folks that live on the street in those two cities. Whenever A&M played in the Palo Alto Regional, I took the day. A&M didn't play till late, so I was like, I'll drive through San Francisco, and I went to the Miss Doubtfire House. I went to the Full House House. I went to Golden Gate Bridge.
Saw a lot of houses.
And I wanted to go see. I still call it Petco. What is it?
No, it's Petco's in San Diego. Great ballpark.
Great, yes.
It's Oracle Park.
Oracle,
It used to
yeah.
be AT&T or
Yes.
Southwestern Bell.
Southwestern Bell. So I went down there because I wanted to see it.
Yeah.
So as I'm driving through downtown San Francisco, I watched a man defecate on the sidewalk. And then when I got to the area around the ballpark, there was a man walking around with everything was out. And he had it
Nice.
in both hands, if that makes any sense.
Wow.
And I said, wow, good for you, pal. And I went on about my day.
Both hands.
Anyway, but I saw some similar things in Denver, and I can't be sure that it was or wasn't Cade Bickham because I didn't know him at the time. So
It was not me.
Good ballpark. Good ballpark. Coors Field.
all right. So
God, the Dodgers stink.
I'm glad that
Way
you
to
got
go.
that off your chest.
Way to go.
I wanted this to be a therapy session for
Thank
you.
you.
Zane, the
Appreciate
Astros
you guys
stink
for
right
listening.
now too.
The Astros
so.
do stink, and we are in trouble.
It's kind of
Yeah,
like
they
that
gotta play the
division. No one
Blue
wants to
Jays.
win. No one wants to win the National League West.
Well, the Astros got the Blue Jays, who might be the best team in the AL.
George Springer is going to give us a belt this series.
I think
That's a mislead-
my
new
World
kid
Series
term.
prediction would be Milwaukee versus Toronto.
I wouldn't hate that. Two different teams.
I would love that. You know why?
That'd be a fantastic
Because
World Series. It'd be
I'll
fun.
tell you my thought process when watching championships that don't involve my team. I want the fan base that I know the least of to win it all. And I
So you
know
have to deal with it?
0 Milwaukee Brewers fans and 0 Toronto Blue Jays fans.
I got two of my baseball guys that live here in town. One played at A&M, one played at Arkansas. They both coach with me at 12. One of them's now the head coach at A&M Consolidated. They're both Canadians.
Oh,
The guy that coaches at A&M Consolidated is from Vancouver, but there's
how
no
about
other
you, bud?
there's no other Canadian.
Yeah, they only got one.
So they're both Blue Jays fans. Matter of fact, I was texting with him last night because
Will Snipe Skelly for
it's weird. It's weird that he, from being from Vancouver, is a Minnesota Vikings fan, but he's a massive Vikings fan, and he was in the dumps through 3 quarters. And then the text started coming in all caps.
JJ McCarthy.
JJ McCarthy.
Michigan man.
And the Bears looked hopeless. And as
The Bears are hopeless,
Well,
right?
hold on.
Anytime you've got a quarterback that's name is
But
Caleb Williams, that
with-
zesty dude, like you're gonna lose.
Are
a
you
lot of
worried about the
games.
Lions with Ben Johnson gone and Aaron Glenn gone?
I mean, so I didn't get to watch anything of Sunday's game, but my understanding is it was really, really one-sided. The scoreline is actually kind to the Lions.
yeah, it flattered the Lions.
Flatters them a little bit, but it's week one. It's
Yeah.
week one.
I'm the same way with Houston. I was really
I'm not
disappointed.
pressing the panic button at all. I've got a friend of mine who is also a Lions fan. Who's like, I think it's over. And I'm like, dude, no, it's
You got to take that guy with a grain of salt.
it's one game. Like,
It's the same thing. What I said about the Texans, there's
I'm
no
worried
sin.
about the offensive line.
Huh?
Way more than replacing the coordinators.
But like I said with the Texans, that there's no sin in losing at the Rams. There's no sin in losing at Green Bay.
Just get them back. Get them at home. Get them at home when they come to Ford Field.
What we know is that like 10-7 is going to get you into the playoffs. Probably going to win the division.
And maybe not in that division. Maybe
It'll
not
be close.
in
It'll
that
be
division.
10-7, 11-6.
10-7 will win you the division, the AFC South. That's for sure.
I think you probably got to go 12-5 to win the NFC North. Because I don't think the Vikings are that good. I thought the Vikings were a team of destiny kind of feeling last year, and I know the Bears aren't that good.
Right. So you got to outpace the Packers. You think the
You got to
Packers
battle the Packers.
You think the Packers get to 12?
Think the Packers could get to 12. Think the Lions get to 12.
All right. Brief NFL thoughts there. I don't. The Texans really they bothered me. They are. I watched.
Go ahead, let it out, big guy.
No, I watched C.J. Stroud make some throws the other day that are incredible. Like his anticipatory trait, his feel for like trajectory, getting balls up and down, timing, really good. They are going to get this guy hurt because they can't block. But I am convinced that if they could find some people to block for C.J. Stroud, that he can win a Super Bowl with the Houston Texans. Very much believe he's that quality of a quarterback. Now, and they're very young at receiver. Isn't that funny? When Christian Kirk was out, so they played the two rookies from Iowa State, and then Aiden Hutchinson. I said Aiden Hutchinson. What's the receiver Hutchinson with the Texans?
Hutchinson.
Xavier Hutchinson played him too. He's like year 2, right?
I believe that's correct.
And
Yes.
so you just had Nico and a bunch of young guys, inexperienced guys running around out there against a pretty good secondary. and a really good defensive front for the Rams. Like, again, I think the Rams can win the NFC West.
Yeah.
It's them and the Niners, right?
Them and the Niners.
I don't think the Seahawks are going to compete.
The Cardinals?
No.
Eh,
I mean,
defense is better.
Yeah, but they look like a mess in against the New Orleans Saints. And we got to talk about what the New Orleans Saints wore this week.
Oh,
was that
terrible.
rivalry?
Oh, it was so bad.
They wore gold tops and black pants and black helmets.
It was incredibly
Hold
ugly.
on, let me look.
The gold was off too.
Yes, it didn't look right.
It looked bad. Oh, I have a hand up moment. For
Okay,
me.
go ahead.
After watching that the Cowboys Eagles game, I would like to retract my statement about the Eagles being the only team I could see making the Super Bowl out of the NFC because I don't know.
I mean,
that defense looked very questionable.
Yeah, and there wasn't like there was going to be I didn't see the Philadelphia Eagles didn't like a team there was a huge gap between them and the rest of the top of the NFC.
Agreed.
Like I think the Packers
looked really good. I mean, if they have Parsons and Edger and Cooper running around, that's a very fast defense.
I was very biased last week about why I thought the Packers should not be the NFC North favorites entering the season. I was wrong. I still think the Lions could get it done.
All right. Well, what were we wrong about with college football? This is going to take place into my top 5, and we're going to here's top 5 Tuesday for the next. Oh, we got 3 topics, so we could probably stretch this out toward the end of the show.
We could definitely do that.
Top 5, and we're going to talk about each one of these, and I'm sure there's going to be some crossover. So let's just go. I'll go off my list because I prepared one. If you guys have these teams on your list, then we can just talk about them together. You can kind of tell me where they fit.
A list.
Top 5 college football winners of week 2. Number 1, the South Florida Bulls.
Yes.
I had them at 1 too.
Yes.
And I've specifically put Alex Golesh. And I wanted to make note that my autocorrect wants to change it to goulash.
Ooh, I like a good Hungarian goulash.
USF, man, they're the first team to win back-to-back games over ranked opponents to begin a season as an unranked team in the AP poll since when? I don't know. Like, it might have never happened before. And they are absolutely the biggest winners through 2 weeks.
And best resume in college football so far.
1,000%.
Now, I don't know that they've played a team the caliber of Ohio State, Texas, Georgia, whatever, but they've got 2 ranked wins. And here's my thing. Like, you have 2 weeks worth of this stuff. Why is there still some teams ahead of them that haven't done as much? Like, if you wanted to throw South Florida ahead of where A&M's at, I would have no issue with it. I really wouldn't. Like, you're still basing these rankings that you're not coming off your preconceived notions, your preseason notions of what teams should be. Whenever you've got 2 weeks worth of data now to tell you what some of these teams are, like South Florida, if you wanted to put them in your top 12, I'd understand.
Yeah, I made a point similar to that on the show last week or a couple weeks ago. Rankings don't matter until week 4.
Except they do.
Like they do
because the highest ranked non-power 4 champion, right? The 5 highest ranked conference champions get an automatic bid. They're not going to have a bye this year, but they will still get a bid. Do you know how many non-power 4 teams are ranked in this week's AP poll?
I don't.
Just South Florida?
1.
Yeah.
South Florida. If the season ended today and the
playoff?
AP poll was the college football playoff final ranking, the South Florida Bulls are in the field of 12.
Well, if they keep having the year that they're having, I have no issue with that.
They've got 1 game on this schedule that they could possibly lose the rest of the way.
Let me rephrase my statement then. They matter. They're not real until like week 4 when you know that most of the Power 5 teams are playing cupcakes, Sisters of the Poor in the first couple of the weeks of the season. It's hard to gauge like where they're actually at. This week and next week, we'll start to see teams playing some real ball. I think we'll have a better gauge about like where everybody should be ranked by week 4.
No question. And I like what Josh Pate says. There's a difference between a rating, like a power rating, and a ranking. And if you're ranking the teams, I think South Florida should be higher. And if you're doing power ratings, I can understand why they'd still be behind some of these clubs that just have more talent on the roster. All right, in agreement. Number one, biggest winner of college football this week, the South Florida Bulls. Number two for me, the Oklahoma Sooners.
I had them at 5 on my list.
Okay.
Right, because I sat, and again, another hand up, sat here on Thursday and talked all sorts of mess about how Michigan was going to walk in there and embarrass Brent Venables, and the roles were reversed. What did Michael Scott say? Well, how the turntables turned? I don't know. Brent Venables possibly saved his job on Saturday night. They made Michigan look really, really bad. They made Bryce Underwood, who's just making a second start, a true freshman, and of course should have anticipated more struggles for a true freshman going on the road for his first time, making just his second career start. They made life hell on him. And then also John Mateer, man. What a performance from him. He was their leading rusher. He made the biggest plays at the biggest times. This was also part of my conversation with my father on Saturday night because he went to the game. He and my mom went up to Norman. It's only like a 3.5 hour drive from Flower Mound. So Michigan fan, I wouldn't say Michigan man because he's got a degree from Texas A&M, but Michigan fan Brad Zane was unhappy coming home, and we both made the comment that Mateer, man, he made some like Manziel-like plays to keep stuff alive.
He's got some real intriguing qualities that if you took him as a low odds Heisman, you're feeling pretty good about that preseason. Now, did Brent Venables save his job? The Oklahoma schedule would say, let's wait and see on that. I have them as the number two. I have them as the number 2 winner of my college football this week because of the profile of the game, the amount of questions that people had about Oklahoma coming into the season, myself included. Mm-hmm. I did pick the Sooners to win and cover because of Bryce Underwood, first start on the road against Brent Venables. That's why I picked. And to full disclosure, I don't have Michigan on my top 5 losers because I think it was a tough situation for them to go into.
I've got them on there. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But when I say I think Brent Venables saved his job, you're right. And you kind of tap the brakes on that statement. He could have lost his job on Saturday. If he loses that game and there's absolutely no momentum with that schedule and what it looks like for the Sooners beginning with Red River and after, like there could be a serious wave of negativity towards that guy.
It sounds like you're describing maybe another coach in the conference that we'll get to here shortly. All right, Kay, did you have Oklahoma on your list?
Yeah, Oklahoma would have been on my list as well. I don't think that I would have had them at 2. I think I would have had them at 3 because I think that another team was a little bit bigger of a winner than Oklahoma.
Okay,
and
hold the phone there. I think we're getting
next.
Yeah, we're going to get to it. I think the next one for my number 3 winner of college football this week, Hail State.
Yep, I had him at 2.
That's my number 2. Yep, I agree with that.
Just a little bit higher than 3.
Now, here's the crazy thing about that game. If you pull up the numbers, there's nothing about that game that says Mississippi State is going to win. Arizona State ran the football down their throat. I think the average starting field position for Arizona State was better. I believe the turnover margin was in their favor as well. There was a lot of things that if I'd have told you this is what the stat line is going to look like on the other side of the game, ahead of the game, you'd have said Arizona State walks out of there and probably covers. And the Sun Devils had the majority of the game in the second half, like vast majority. I would say that like it was one-way traffic, 98% of the game going Arizona State's way in the second half until the final drive. And if you'll remember, I need to put on your way back caps all the way to last January. Arizona State is in a playoff game against Texas in Atlanta, 4th, and I believe it was 18. And Arizona State blitzes everybody and leaves a one-on-one matchup for Matthew Golden. Quinn Ewers hits him for a touchdown. Remember that? Well, what happens in Starkville?
Same thing.
The same thing. They blitz. They leave Brennan Thompson from Spearman, Texas, way up in the Panhandle, the fastest man on the field.
Yeah, he can
They
fly.
leave him one-on-one with the entire field to run into. Blake Shapen, all he had to do was throw the ball as high as he could to the middle of the field. Brennan Thompson was going to catch it and outrun everybody. Here's the interesting thing about Mississippi State to me. Blake Shapen's pretty good. I don't think he's great. He's pretty good. They didn't run the football worth a crap the other night. One thing they've got is they've got 2 native Texans at wide receiver that started at other places, and they can really, really run. Brennan Thompson and Anthony Evans. So
where did Brennan Thompson begin his career?
He was at Oklahoma, then to Texas Tech, and then now at Mississippi State.
Oh, gotcha.
And Anthony Evans was at Georgia.
I remember his recruitment, a lot of attention on Spearman because of it's way up in the Panhandle, super small town. This kid's got insane track time, stuff like that. Man, what a big win for Jeff Levy, man. After going 2-10, year one, like they're now receiving a ton of votes in the AP poll.
And it makes A&M's schedule look a lot tougher, but
they could be ranked when they come here in 4 weeks.
Yeah, they could.
What's their schedule look like between now and then?
I'll pull it up.
Like if I'm remembering correctly, it's not very good. Like they get a couple teams that aren't very good and a bye week mixed in there somewhere.
Well, they're going to have one more cupcake somewhere because they had Southern Miss.
They have Alcorn State.
Okay.
And then Northern Illinois the next 2 weeks. So and then they have Tennessee at home. And then they come here.
So they're going to be they will most likely be 4-1.
Well, they're going to be 4-0 going into Tennessee in Starkville.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about Tennessee yet.
Day game or night game?
We won't know that.
It says TBD.
Yeah.
So it's a flex.
I can check the flex time though.
You gotta look at Mississippi State.
Anyway, regardless, we got to move on.
Schedule.
Mississippi State, huge winner. Great for that program. Brandon Walker's live reaction to that final touchdown was insane, and why I do like live reactions to games. I think those are really cool.
Flex window. So it's going to be anywhere from an afternoon. It could be an afternoon game or a night game.
My number 4 team, biggest winner of college football this weekend, only because I think they really laid down a marker for a national championship type of team, the Oregon Ducks.
Dude.
Yeah, I think I would have them in about the same spot.
What a beatdown.
And we'll get into more of them in a little bit on the flip side. And my number 5 biggest winner for college football this week, the Baylor Bears.
I had specifically at number 4, biggest winner of college football, Matthew Dawson for his Baylor love.
Oh, there you go. It was
Sawyer Robertson. Now people are starting to begin a Heisman campaign for him. Now, to be
Robert
fair,
Griffin.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that the Baylor Heisman Trophy winner is starting a Heisman Trophy campaign for the Baylor quarterback.
He's got good numbers.
Really good numbers.
The problem is, how does Dave Aranda walk around that place with the defense that he's got? I mean, hot knife through butter doesn't even do it justice. They are bad.
They won, and it's a huge win on the road over a ranked opponent, but it's a game they won in which they gave up 45 points.
More holes than a hedgehog's pillowcase.
Swiss cheese.
I think for my number 5, I think I would actually put I'd actually have Illinois.
Okay, I think there's bigger tests coming for Illinois.
I agree, but they just laid a smackdown on Duke. So
Big Bert.
And that was that's a real team second week of the season. So
I don't want to give. I do have another one that I fought Baylor with. You're going to find out what it is on our biggest losers. All right. Top 5 biggest losers.
Sorry.
Did you have a number 5?
I had one more big winner. Number 3, I put, and it's not for anything his team did on the field, I put Lane Kiffin.
Did I miss something?
Because I think jobs are coming open.
Oh.
I think Lane Kiffin's a winner in week 2, not for anything he did, though.
I like that. Creative. Speaking of, jobs may be coming open. The biggest loser in college football this week. Everybody on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Billy Napier.
Or Florida. Yeah.
Billy Napier. Yeah.
Sunbelt Billy. Hey, he was punching up, guys. He's a Sunbelt coach, and he was taking on an American Athletic Conference opponent this week.
Have been in this industry for a decade now and made some good friends that cover the University of Florida. Some guys I bounce information off of. They've been great with me throughout the years. I text all of them on Saturday night, and I said, man, I know this. I feel awful. I know this is going to be a brutal week for you guys. Cade, if I send you something, can you get it on – how quickly can you get it up on the stream?
Probably like 3 minutes.
Okay. I'm going to send you something that I sent. I think I sent this to Dawson and Richard.
Video or picture?
It's a video. I'm downloading it now.
So while you guys are working through this, let's look ahead at Florida's football schedule, shall we? So after the loss to South Florida, they get to play at number 3 LSU this week. 7:30 p.m. The sun's going to set in the western sky at Death Valley, and the season might die. Then they get to go on the road, no bye week in between, to play Miami, who's ranked 5th in the country. Week after that, they get a bye week. Luckily, they get a bye week to likely lick their wounds before they welcome in the number 7th ranked Texas Longhorns to the Swamp. The next week, they get to go face team currently ranked 16th in the country, the Fighting Texas Aggies. A whoop. On October 18th, they get to play a team that's unranked, Mississippi State.
It's brutal.
The week after that, they get the cocktail party in Jacksonville against the team that's ranked 6th in the country. Then they get to go to Ole Miss. Ole Miss is ranked 17th in the country. The week after that, they get to face Tennessee, who's currently ranked 15th. And to round out the football schedule, at least it's at home, they get to play the number 10 Florida Seminole Rolls.
So I said that this last week that Florida's schedule, as tough as it was, got significantly tougher with the wins from Miami and Florida State.
One team, the rest of the year, they've got 10 more games. 9 of them are currently ranked in the AP Top 25. That's ridiculous.
Well, and it's not a good formula for what Billy Napier has got going on. And let me tell you this. I watched that whole game on Saturday. They were awful. And I can't remember if it was Josh Pate, or maybe it was, it may have been Josh Pate, but he kept saying, Florida felt like a team that kept trying to hit homers, and all they needed was a single. And every offensive possession, it's like they were trying to hit home runs. And it's like, dude, you have the best athletes on the field. What are we calling this game like this? And the time, it's mismanagement. Billy Napier is watching South Florida move down the field. All they need is a field goal to tie it. They've already tried. This is another thing. How I knew South Florida was like, we can win this game and we're not scared of Billy Napier's offense. They trotted the Grammatica kid out there to try a 60-yard field goal. It's like they're going to give Florida the ball at the 50-yard line if they miss it. And they weren't scared to do it in their house. So as South Florida's driving down the field, Billy Napier is watching this clock deteriorate right in front of his face. He's got 2 timeouts. And he just lets them run it. And everybody in the Swamp, everybody in the state of Florida, everybody with eyeballs that knows anything about football is watching that game and saying, they're running the ball here. They're setting themselves up for a game-winning field goal. And so a couple of things that you have to tell your defense. If they break the line of scrimmage into the second level, let them score. But they kept ripping off like 9 or 10-yard runs. The game-winning field goal, I think, was 20 yards. I think the ball was at the 3, like an extra point.
It was a chip shot.
It's like a consistent issue with Billy Napier. And listen, I think DJ Lagway's got something wrong with him. I think that calf is not right. He missed a ton. I think he missed the entire spring football. He missed a ton of summer workouts. And to kind of tie it back to something we've seen at Texas A&M, last fall, the Aggie baseball team was missing Gavin Grahovic, Hayden Schott, Jace Lavalette. They missed the entire fall. I think we're learning that you can't miss the off-season practice and be as sharp as you want to be. It's important. DJ Lagway missed how many reps with his receivers?
Got that video ready.
You got okay. Let me set the table here. So I don't say that I was hate watching or hate searching, but this came up on my suggested videos on YouTube. And it was a reaction of it's 2 guys. One of them that I think has been covering Florida since the Steve Spurrier era. I don't know who the other guy is, but it's a radio station either in Orlando or I think it's Jacksonville, actually. Yeah, it's Jacksonville. Okay. If you want to find this video on YouTube, obviously wait till the B team's over with. But if you want to find the video on YouTube,
turn it off now.
Just type in Florida Gator reaction to South Florida and you'll find this video. This was there's a live streamed event. I think we're okay with the language in this clip that I posted. But these 2 guys are going nuts and it is beautiful to listen to. Go ahead, play it, Cade.
Jeff.
What's that?
You know what the good news is, peeps? Is that we have a great culture there. A culture that all the guys stay together. Like, I don't know, spit in their faces.
Right. That was smart. That was a good one.
Why don't we do that?
Dude, I don't know.
Why don't we take a big loogie right in front of the official and hock her right on a guy and get 15 yards on the last drive?
Yeah.
Why don't we do that, dumbass?
I'd send him back to Dallas.
Send him back.
I would. I'd
take his NIL
today. Yeah.
Take his NIL.
I would.
Don't.
Hawker, that was so good. And the thing was,
what is it with football players spitting on other human beings? Stop it. Stop it.
It was so good. But listen, that 30-second clip, there is 30 minutes of that on the internet if you just want to go watch it.
Since we sat here and did our last B team, we've had 2 very high-profile spitting incidents, which is insane. Stop spitting on other human beings.
The kid that did it from Florida is from Killeen. He came to camp at A&M. And, Kate, I don't know if you saw the replay of him spitting on the player from South Florida.
I must have missed that one.
Oh, and it looks like it hits the poor kid right in the mouth, like he spit into his mouth.
Nice.
But he did. He really did it. The official is trying to pull him away from the South Florida guy. The official is right there, and he hawks it's not like some small spit where it sprays like a shotgun. It is a glob of loogie.
It was targeted and tactical.
Yes, and it hit its target. Like hit the guy right in the mouth. And don't forget that was a couple years ago at Florida against LSU.
The
guy throws the shoe for a 15-yard penalty.
So I have a great story about that. Well, it's not really like a story. So basically, the kid,
great story, but it's not a story.
Okay, so the kid whose shoe got thrown, he's my age. He went to our rival high school in Grand Junction, Colorado. Cole Taylor, his shoe is the one that got thrown. And it caused the penalty. And he was a huge kid, and which is why he was getting recruited to all these D1 places. But he was in the paper like in Grand Junction after that game because it was his shoe that got thrown for the penalty. It was so funny. I couldn't believe it when it happened.
What's the name of the Grand Junction local newspaper?
I couldn't tell you off the top. I'm sorry.
Okay, Florida, I think clearly Billy Napier, they have put so much on DJ Lagway to be the savior of that program. I don't think it's fair to the kid.
Nope.
I hate it because I'm a massive DJ Lagway fan. Massive DJ. One of my favorite kids I've ever covered.
He's one of the two guys I really enjoyed listening to at SEC Media Days.
All right, so Florida, number 1 college football loser this week. Number 2, I've got Oklahoma State.
I also have Oklahoma State at 2.
I mean, what has happened in Stillwater?
Fair.
It's over.
It's
69-3. And I went back and watched the highlights of that.
Nice.
It was as bad as the score sounded. I mean, Oregon is ripping off runs like 20, 30 yards at a time. And then it gets to garbage time when both teams – actually, the starter for Oklahoma State is still in at quarterback. He throws back-to-back pick sixes. It was 55-3.
Kyle Allen style.
Goes back-to-back pick sixes to make it the final 69-3.
Nice.
I think he's got to be – and again, we had a son come to his defense on Twitter. Mike Gundy's son started tweeting through it. Eventually, those tweets got deleted. But he basically said that Mike Gundy is Oklahoma State football. Oklahoma State football needs Mike Gundy. I don't think that's true.
You're about to find out.
Yep. I think that that mullet will be on the Red River, riding up and down the Red River on Saturdays here in the near future.
It's over. It's
another Big 12 team made my list at number 3. College football's biggest losers, Mr. Richard Rodriguez and the West Virginia Mountaineers. Walk into Athens, Ohio, and lose to the Bobcats.
I didn't see that one.
They were awful on offense. Nico Marchiol, their quarterback, he sat there and just patted the ball and freaked out the entire game. They let Jalen Henderson get some burn in the second half to try to just shake things up and use his legs. He couldn't get anything going. I think he threw an interception or he fumbled, but they could not score against not Ohio State, the Ohio Bobcats. And again, what are you doing a Big 12 school going on the road to a MAC school. You deserve to get beat.
Jeez. I'm here for Rich Rodriguez's downfall. That's all I'll say.
Who'd you have at 3?
I went with a different Big 12 school, and it kind of plays off of what we had with Mississippi State on our biggest winners. I think Arizona State, that kind of,
they were close for me. They didn't make my top 5.
Odds are going to decrease significantly, and it's not like they have a very easy schedule the rest of the way. So like that was really their chance to stay nationally relevant, and maybe they could take on a Big 12 loss somewhere down
the good news for them is they're not going to walk in anywhere that's as rowdy as Mississippi State was the other night.
Hey man, September 20th on the Brazos River, that's pretty rowdy.
Davis Wade was. They looked like they were
so loud.
Yeah, it was loud. The cowbells were really pumping.
Salt Lake City can get pretty rowdy.
I would
no, it cannot.
Rice
yes,
Eccles.
it does.
Yeah, I would
okay.
think Utah
Yes, it
does.
does.
The city itself, no, but the
Utah
stadium,
does, yes.
BYU Stadium, yes.
No, BYU's in Provo.
Oh, BYU's in
BYU's
Provo.
in Provo.
Yeah,
Salt Lake
it's all
City.
Salt Lake
Dude,
City anyway.
Listen, Cade. If you're
My
going to come
bad.
at us, come
My
correct,
bad.
dude.
Hand up.
There we go.
Show it, Cade. No, you got to show the people. Hand up. There.
Yeah.
Yep, attaboy. Hand up.
Provo is basically Salt Lake City.
As somebody that's taken the trip to Utah in a couple of weeks, I've been told that Utah is the fun school.
Yeah.
That is
BYU
correct.
and Utah State are the not fun schools.
Crazy.
Yes.
So,
have them
okay,
at 3.
Arizona State was close to making my top 5. I do think I was surprised at how poor Sam Leavitt played. I really liked him last year in the playoff.
I expected a pretty big downturn for Arizona State without Scadaboo. I think they caught lightning in a bottle last year, but I do believe Kenny Dillingham's a pretty good coach, and this could have been their chance to prove they weren't a one-hit wonder.
Hey, you know, a lot of those preseason videos of him after practices were surfacing where he was like, we practiced like a 5-7 football team today. We practiced like a 6. Like he said this multiple times. So
he's honest.
Yeah.
I like him a lot. He's
real?
refreshing. You get a lot of coach speak out of a lot of guys. You're not going to get out of the Kenny Dillingham.
my number 4 biggest loser in college football this week was the team that won. The Clemson Tigers.
I had them at 3.
I had my biggest loser in college football as the Troy Trojans. And I know Troy's a decided underdog. But when you start up 16 points and then everybody starts getting that ESPN notification and starts flipping to find the CW or whatever it was on, it wasn't on the CW, was it? It was on an ESPN channel.
Yeah,
it was the Baylor game that was on the
AC,
CW.
I think it was ACC Plus, whatever.
Anyways, people are trying to find that game. And by the time everybody gets off the phone with their network provider, their cable provider, and finds out how they can watch, and then they get to watch you wet your pants, tough.
Yeah, they were punching up so high that I wasn't that disappointed. But it's like Clemson back-to-back weeks.
Troy's also a team that's got success knocking off a giant.
Yeah, LSU.
Yep.
Again, it's through 2 weeks. There was a lot. I mean, a lot of people laid money on Clemson to be a national champion. Look, it's still early, but they have shown no
6 on his own goal line.
They've shown no signs of being a team that can compete with the elite of college football through 2 weeks.
Which is really tough because that's a program that Dabo Swinney has built in the name, image, and likeness of God.
He is.
That's what he says.
Anyway, that's what he says.
Very sad.
So why not believe him if he says it? So I had Clemson number 4, college football biggest loser. My final one, number 5. This is where I almost put the team that won the game in my top 5 biggest winners. I got Virginia Tech as one of my biggest losers. So Virginia Tech was on the national scene last week in the opening week.
Sunday against South
Carolina, and they played the Gamecocks pretty tough, 24-11. They didn't show much on offense, but it was like, okay, like we believe that South Carolina is a potential playoff team. No sin in losing that game.
The
if you're Virginia.
deficit is not what it really was.
Yeah, it felt like the game was close. Very
misleading.
Lenore Sellers hit a big ball over the top late. It just felt like that game was close for a long time. So week 2, the Vanderbilt Commodores walk into Lane Stadium in Blacksburg, Virginia, and proceed to beat the absolute dog out of Virginia Tech in the second half. They scored over 40 points. I think the game was like 21-20, and then they rattled off 24 something straight. Vanderbilt did. So the Commodores, it's hard for me to say that they were a big winner this week because I don't know how bad Virginia Tech might be.
It was 2010 at halftime.
I would argue they could be
34-0 in the second half.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'd argue that they could be a big winner just because you got to think about they beat them that bad, and South Carolina was struggling a little bit.
Those two teams play this week.
Yeah, they do. And so, if Vanderbilt can get it done this week,
Well, hey, it goes back to preseason rankings. Why is South Carolina that far ahead of Vanderbilt? What's the justification there? South Carolina didn't look like world beaters against South Carolina State. They had 2 punt returns in the first half. And Laura Sellers, I think Billy was talking about it on the radio yesterday. He's like 2 for 8 for 20 yards in the first half.
Pretty bad.
So, again, it's these preseason rankings that have got this thing skewed. Well, I think the line on that game is not real big. South Carolina might be like 3.5-point favorites.
Interesting.
Vandy's going to get somebody.
Oh, yeah.
And this is their best chance to do it with Pavia and Eli Stowers. Pavia is he's got that.
He's a baller.
Yeah, he's got that
gamer.
DNA, like that winner DNA, very much like Johnny had. He's not as skilled as Johnny was.
He poor man's Johnny.
But they're going to knock somebody off this year. And they may get 2 of them.
Yep.
By 6.5.
6.5, give me Vanderbilt.
Yeah, they cover that at least.
Yeah, if you're going to, I think Vanderbilt can win the game. We'll talk about that on Thursday. We'll do our prediction show. But right now, I am on Vanderbilt hard in that game. All right.
My number 5 was Michigan and Sharon Moore. I think Sharon Moore was always set up to be the fall guy for Harbaugh, and whatever nefarious actions was going on behind the scenes during the national championship season. It's almost like they're just kind of like, yeah, we'll let you be the head coach for a couple of years because every time he goes on a big stage, it's not against Ohio State because Ohio State can't beat Michigan. Sharon Moore just looks like
I will say this.
Buffoon, and after he lost this game in Norman, now he gets to sit in timeout for 2 weeks.
Bryce Underwood clearly has the skills to be an elite quarterback. I don't know that offensive system in Ann Arbor is going to let him shine, at least right now. It's a lot of pro-style stuff, and I think right now in his development, he'd probably be better in the gun with some more freedom. But you got to make him play within the offense. He's going to have to learn. And there's clearly an elite talent there.
If Michigan is not 10-1 going into that last week of the year, and I doubt they will be, not because their schedule's a murderer's row, but if they're not 10-1 going into that Ohio State game, I think they will get rid of Sharon Moore. Look at what's on their schedule next.
The next head coach of the Michigan Wolverines. Ladies and gentlemen, Lane Kiffin.
Florida. Central Michigan, Nebraska, Wisconsin, who's not very good, USC, who's not very good, Washington, who's not very good.
If they lose to Nebraska, that'll be an eye-opener for me.
Michigan State, who's not very good, Purdue, who's not very good, Northwestern, who's not very good, Maryland, who's not very good. If they are not 10-1, when Ohio State rolls up to the big house on November the 29th, Sharon Moore is going to be out.
It'd be a high-profile job. That'd be a very interesting coaching search. Very, very interesting because they have Harbaugh left an identity and a DNA on that roster that I think you can take advantage of in that league, in the state of Michigan. I think they play a good style of ball for up there. So, Kate, did you have anything else? Any losers?
No, I think that I would, agree with Michigan to a certain extent. They just didn't look fantastic in that game, and that's the big stage, which, everybody's watching, and so I guess that would just make them the big loser.
Can I give one shout-out for winner?
Sure.
The Lamar Cardinals.
Oh.
South Dakota was the number 2 team in FCS. They go down to Beaumont. Nobody goes into Walter Humphrey Stadium in Beaumont, Jefferson County, and comes out victorious. Anyway, it's
I've driven by that stadium before.
Biggest win in Lamar football history, probably.
That's awesome.
So, shout out to the Cardinals, even though they are a rival of McNeese.
Shout out to Beaumont for having the world's largest fire hydrant.
I didn't even know that.
You didn't know that? There's like a downtown sculpture kind of thing.
Oh, okay. I didn't even realize that. I do know what you're talking about. I've seen the giant fire hydrant, but I never associated that was legit, counted in the Guinness Book of World Records.
I think it is. I'm going to look it up. Beaumont fire hydrant.
We used to go to field trips to Spindletop, Boomtown, right there by Lamar.
The Dalmatian hydrant.
Yep.
Oh,
Fire
Zach
Museum of
Zach in the
Texas.
YouTube chat with
Sorry.
a great shout for Big Loser.
World's
UCLA.
largest functioning fire hydrant.
Beaumont, Texas.
Yes.
Yeah, UCLA.
And Nico.
Bum.
UNLV 2-0.
Bum.
I don't think UNLV is that good, but
Probably
Nico is probably the biggest loser in college football so far this year, individually.
So yes.
I'm not talking about him as a kid, so nobody get on me about, oh, yeah, you don't know. Okay, I get it. But I'm talking about the decisions he made, the team he's on, what Tennessee looks like through 2 weeks. It's
Great
very
shout.
much a 180. Yeah, good shout there.
Great
in the
shout,
chat.
Zach. Just a reminder, UCLA, they're in Los Angeles. It's them and USC play in Los Angeles. Remember, you know what I'm referencing?
I don't.
Their head coach got up on the podium
Raheem
last
Morris,
year
yeah.
at Big Ten Media Days and was like, yeah, I'm at UCLA. We're in LA. It's
very
one of
awkward.
the most cringiest opening statements
Yes.
ever.
Almost cringy, like talking about your quarterback pooping, which did happen this week.
I asked Billy on Ask Lucci earlier. One of the questions was, what faces do you make when you poop?
Depends on how bad I'm hurting. Sometimes I smile.
Ugh.
All right. The final top five that we've got for Top 5 Tuesdays, we close the show. Top 5 sports smells. This should get some variety here, I think. Maybe not. We're all three baseball guys, so there may be some crossover. I'll start my number 1 best smell. Actually, let's start at 5.
5.
Let's start at 5. My number 5 pick was glove leather.
On my list, but way higher. Way higher. At 5, I've got I don't know if it's like a smell or if it's just like the like breathing in the cold air. Like if you go into an ice rink, like there's a distinct smell in there. I'm not talking about the dressing rooms. I'm talking about like next to the.
Why would you think I was talking about the
Because that's a very distinct smell too. Like if you've ever been around hockey players, like it's a very distinct
football,
smell.
baseball locker rooms?
Yeah.
I know they don't
It's
smell
the
well.
same thing too.
Yeah.
But like if you're like right next to the glass, like there's a very distinct smell. It's like very like, all right,
Okay.
this is cool. I like it.
Kate, were you able to put a list together? I know I got it to you late.
Not really. The one thing that the main thing that I came up with off the top of my head was like when you open a new canister of like tennis balls.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
I actually that smell makes me gag, but we don't yuck anybody's yum on this show. So, Kate, that's very fair.
Cade, kinky.
Different strokes. Whoa,
Kinky.
different strokes for different folks.
Hey, pause.
Number 4.
Be careful with the thing, the metal thing. It could cut you.
True, it can.
Oh yeah. Number 4. For me, it's the smell of burgers on a grill.
Dude, mine is 4. Mine says it's just the food. Because like if you're walking around a ballpark, they might be caramelizing onions. They
Yeah.
might be hot dogs on a roller. It might be the popcorn.
Yep.
Pretzels.
Like it all like coalesces and becomes this one like cloud
Yeah.
that just like when you walk in, you're like, all right,
Yep.
we're
I
gonna do
agree.
some eating today.
It was hard for me. I just put burgers / grills, but that's the same thing. I'm
Yeah.
like just the food aroma of walking into a ballpark.
Or a beer.
Mm,
Yeah, beer.
No, not for me. Number 3.
Hold on, Kate. What was 4 on? Do you have 4?
I would actually like totally agree with that. Like food around the stadium.
Well, he doesn't. I got the list to him later.
Oh, you don't
Yeah, I
have a
didn't. I
list.
didn't
You
have
don't
I didn't get the rundown
Okay,
until
my bad. I'm sorry. I wasn't paying
30
attention.
minutes
That's on me.
left in the show.
Okay. So number 3 for me. This is our favorite sports smells. This is going to be very specific, but I like the smell, and this started when I was in high school. I distinctly remember I like the smell of that. The paint that the cheerleaders would use for the run-through paper on Friday nights. So, like when the football team comes
Yeah, I
out and
know
they
what
make
you're
big
talking about.
signs, the paint that goes on that, I've always, it could be paint used for other things. I've always associated it with football runouts. I love the smell of that paint. I know it's very specific.
That is very specific, but I can smell it. Like you just saying it right now. Like I know what you're talking about.
So we would, and when I was in high school, the cheerleaders would have, after school on Thursday, they would have the paper rolled out in the hallways. And I'd be coming back from baseball through the hallways. And so you'd smell it. And then obviously on Friday night, you'd smell it. So I've always associated that with sports.
All right. Yeah, I understand that one. 3 on my list. The fresh cut grass. Sorry. The fresh cut grass.
Okay. I didn't know where you're going with glass.
Sorry. Grass. Like the Bermuda grass.
Okay.
Like
Fully understand.
the grass clippings. Smells good.
All right.
I thought of something for this for this slot. I'll go when you have like a baseball game early in the morning and it's like a little bit dewy outside still, and they're like dragging the field with whatever like gasoline powered tractor machine that they have. Yeah,
he's huffing gas.
It's like a go-kart.
Cade Bickham, the gas huffer. Real quick, we're running out of time. All right, number 2 for me was Icy Hot.
Huh.
That's quality.
I've never used Icy Hot, so
Tiger Balm.
Yeah, same thing.
Tiger Balm, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then number 1, I'll let you finish yours. So number 1 for me is Pine Tar.
I said, so at 2, I just said the actual baseball. The physical baseball, it can be game used or it can be fresh out of the box. I just love holding it up there. And then 1 would be the glove. The glove leather. Like even today, like I still have my A2000s in the apartment. Every now and then I'll just walk over, like pick it up, smell it, and
Big
Jen's
inhale.
always like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "You wouldn't understand."
I do that to Dolly's fluff.
Dolly's fluff.
Like her chest fluff, I just mood improver.
You wonder why Dolly's a crackhead. It's because of you.
Cade, you got favorite sports smell? Is
I will go with Tiger Balm as my number 1.
It's a good one. I
Because
forgot about
it
Tiger
is,
Balm.
a bunch of my teammates used it the last couple
I had
of years.
trouble with this. Like when you sent me this list, I was like, "Huh." Everything I was coming up with was like a sound over a smell.
Yep.
Like
All right.
cleats on dirt, the crack of a bat, the roar of a crowd.
That was a good Wednesday. Good top 5.
Well, it's Tuesday.
But we're looking forward to Wednesday. It's going to be a good Wednesday because we're going to
Hope
learn
so.
something. Wisdom Wednesday. We learn Wednesday. Thunderdome Thursday. We are working on our bit. It's going to be liquid based probably, but we're working on a bit already for Thursday. Thanks for hanging out with us on the B Team Tuesday edition. Be right back here tomorrow, Wednesday, 4:15. Join us. TexAgs YouTube, TexAgs Premium.